Hi, my name is Eve, and today we are going to be looking over a time-lapse of a Joseph Christian Leyendecker Mastercopy that I drew in Procreate on my iPad. Now first things first, let's go over what a Mastercopy is and is not. It is an exercise used to practice technique and artistic process. I received many Mastercopy homework assignments my first 2 years of college when there was a lot of focus in our curriculum on refining our workflow. It is not an opportunity to take another artist's work and claim it as your own. I do not own the outcome of this exercise. I cannot sell it, make copies of it to sell, or make any kind of merchandise based on my digital rendition of this with the intention of claiming it as my own. Since I'm making this video as an exercise for myself and as a way to educate other artists, this material is covered under fair use policy. If you have any more questions about copyright, common domain, and fair use, I have included a link to a helpful article in the description. It is a research guide put together by the New Jersey Institute of Technology and explains a lot of good details about the specifics of the laws in simple terms. I wish we had an article like this when I was first learning about this stuff in middle school. Now regarding the artist whose piece I'm working from today, the painter Joseph Christian Leyendecker was commissioned by the Saturday Evening Post to illustrate covers for their magazine. He worked for them from 1898 to 1943 and inspired Norman Rockwell, another very famous painter who came to work for the Post. This cover is listed under the name Carnival, and according to the Post's archives, it was published on February 25, 1933. Given the time period the magazine was printed in, it was most likely made using a process called wet-on-wet 4-color lithography, which gave the page its lovely full color. Based on research done by Paul Moxon, website editor of the American Printing History Association, an ad printed in the Inland Printer in April 1911 claims that Eagle Printing Company was the manufacturer of the 4-color wet printing process. That means the technology was available at the time. I just can't find direct sources connecting the Saturday Evening Post and a printing company they hired to do lithography for them. 4-color lithography is similar to our modern CMYK printers in that there are 4 basic colors of ink. Based on how you layer each color and how dense the ink is, you can achieve a full-color final product. People make entire careers off of the intricacies of lithography, so I won't go into more detail than that today. Leyendecker was born in Germany in 1874 and grew up there. His family then immigrated to the United States in 1882. He was only 24 when he started making covers for the Saturday Evening Post. He made a handful of covers about World War I, but many of his works for the magazine revolved around upcoming holidays and humorous situations he thought the average American would encounter. Another company he is known for illustrating for is Clewitt Peabody's Men's Clothing, creating the Arrow Collar Man in a series of ads featuring stylish collars men could add on to their outfits. He also did work for Kellogg's, the cereal brand, creating a series featuring smiling children and their bowls of breakfast cereal. The Haggin Museum in Stockton, California is known for having the largest collection of Leyendecker art on display to the public. They offer information on the artwork he created for advertising and journalism. I have included a link to the Haggin Museum's website, which can show you much more of their collection. I feel after giving a history on Leyendecker's work and encouraging you to go and look at his other art, I should include a section talking about how the content and meaning behind his magazine covers is being re-evaluated in the current day. Looking over his body of work done for the Saturday Evening Post, it becomes clear that the focus is on the, quote, average white American. The only time that Black people are included are as supporting components to the composition or strictly in serving roles. There is also this aura of misleading nostalgia surrounding how Native Americans were portrayed, usually regarding the Thanksgiving holiday, as though they were a people confined solely to the past. Leyendecker's student Norman Rockwell was known to be much more vocal in his art on the issue of civil rights, especially with his famous painting of Ruby Bridges walking into school titled "The Problem We All Live With." But we must keep in mind while their careers did overlap, Rockwell grew up and operated in a later time period than Leyendecker did. J.C. Leyendecker worked for the Saturday Evening Post from 1898 to 1943, which completely encompasses a period of United States history known as the segregation era, lasting from 1900 to 1943. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't born until 1929, about 2/3 of the way through Leyendecker's career with the Post. What we know of today as the Civil Rights Movement wouldn't officially start until 1954, years after Leyendecker's last Saturday Evening Post cover. Interracial marriage wasn't legal in all 50 states until 1967 with the Supreme Court's decision regarding Loving v. Virginia, decreeing it was unconstitutional to deny interracial couples the right to marry. It is important to keep in mind when viewing advertising and material from the past that the systems in place were ruled over by a different set of people, and just like all humans who come into power, they brought their own flaws and prejudices into their decision-making process. I will not claim to know Joseph Christian Leyendecker's personal stance regarding the content he was commissioned to create that displayed people in this way. I simply thought, as someone creating my own content for the purpose of inspiring passion and educating, that it was my duty to address this topic. Thank you for tuning in today to learn about Mastercopies and a bit of the history of J.C. Leyendecker. I hope this video inspires you to try a Mastercopy of your own and research the artist whose work you choose to study. See you next time!